Always enter the deep web at your own risk. There is always something that can get the jump on you. For example, I was browsing the deep web late at night when I came across this post for storytellers and heavy creepypasta readers. I like reading, so in my own curiosity, I ventured forth into what seemed to be something I would rather enjoy. I was wrong. Dead wrong. The website contained a few boxes with descriptions in each and a list of stories written by others. The boxes had basic information regarding that the stories are for entertainment purposes only and that they should be regarded as fiction. I scrolled through to find an intriguing title. When I found one called The Note, I began reading the creepypasta and it didn't seem half bad. It began reading things like, there was a nightgown in the middle of the road and I heard creaking. I found this especially strange because I had these same experiences in the same week. I thought nothing of it and kept reading. I began to feel uncomfortable as every event that happened in the story was basically ticking off the past 5 days of my life. It got to a point where it was talking about the day I was in. But what really got my attention was the line, I could see something outside, and at that moment, I heard branches cracking outside. I jolted my head to my window and quickly closed my curtains. I'm just paranoid, I kept telling myself. It's okay. I read further and the character in the story did the same thing. It's as if someone was replacing text as this was all happening. I read on, more sounds came from outside until I heard knocking on my door. My eyes widened as I could see what was coming next. The loud knocks came for a few seconds, then stopped. At this point, I could care less about the website, so I turned off my computer and turned out the lights as I slid under my bed with my trusty baseball bat ready. I waited for what seemed like hours, but nothing came. Eventually, I drifted off to sleep as I had a long day and was extremely tired. As I slowly came to, I saw my room was dimly lit from the little sunlight coming through the seam of the curtains. I crawled out from under feeling awful and having very little memory of the night before. I went to make my cup of coffee and noticed nothing was out of place to where it normally is. I just had a nightmare, I thought to myself. I came back to my desk as I turned on the machine, to find a boot-up message from what looked like a piece of paper. It had much a resemblance for that of a note to self and there was a great deal of text, so I began reading it cautiously, wondering, if this is important, why not put this in a command prompt? I read through it, but shortly after beginning, I noticed it was trying to tell me something. Remember, fight back. Don't let it take you too. Then it hit me. I began to remember what had happened. I quickly opened my curtains and made a thorough scan of my garden and front porch. There wasn't a soul in sight, so I continued reading, and it started to take shape of the creepypasta I had read the night before. I could recall every bit of text, but I saw a line of text that horrified me. Something I will never quite forget. It read, as my door slowly opened, a tall and slender figure entered my room, scanning it rapidly. He had what appeared to be a large butcher knife in its hand. I could not make out the figure, or what gender it was, but I knew one thing, if I move or make any sound, I am dead. I could only imagine what happened after, as I ripped out the power cord and threw the cinder block outside. I ran through the entire house to make sure everything was locked tight. Not 5 minutes had passed and I put my shoes on to go destroy that devil of a machine. I ran outside right where I threw it to find nothing. It wasn't there. I was shocked. Caught up in the moment, I ran inside and called the police. They arrived and didn't find a single trace of anyone getting in. I told them how in just a few minutes in broad daylight someone or something managed to grab my computer and take off with it, or worse. Once they left, I went to buy a new laptop and a firearm. I haven't seen anything suspicious or heard anything, but I can never forget what happened that night. To think someone could be outside my window staring at me intently. I haven't visited that godforsaken place since, and never will.